I'm gonna do it to the cloud so that Constance you can access it to edit.
Do
But
what?
I'm putting it on the cloud, like I'm not
Okay.
doing so you can access it.
Okay.
Um, I guess I'm starting. Okay. Grayson, how do you want me to introduce you? What am I saying?
Just Grayson, Vishon.
Okay.
Just my name.
Alright.
Not nothing special. You can just say
Sure. All right.
whatever you want to say.
Whatever you say. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the council. I'm Yousef, and today we have a very special, exciting episode because we're going to be talking about Shang-Chi in all the spoiler glory because everybody's seen it because it's made so much money. Let's meet our other people. So first, as usual, he's back. He wasn't here last time. We got Liam.
Hi, hello, it's me. I'm home.
I was hoping you'd never come back, but
No, you would miss me too much.
I would
You
miss
would.
this next person if she wasn't here, but Constance is back with us. Hello, Constance.
Aw. Well, I missed you, Liam. I always miss it when you're not.
Thank you.
So.
You're just saying that.
No,
and then
I love Liam.
Constance is just a nice person, unlike you.
But I do love Liam. I don't love everybody, but I do love Liam.
Okay.
I don't love
Oh,
it.
like
As the saying goes, blame Canada.
Speaking of Canada, we have finally another Canadian on the show. I'm so excited. Joining us today. This is the first time he's on the council. We got Grayson Vachon with us. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Am I supposed to say more?
I mean, you can. You don't have to.
No, I don't think there's anything for me to say right now.
Okay, cool. Well, let's just get right into it. Shang-Chi opened on Friday. It made like 70-something million for the 3-day.
What?
Yeah, it made a lot of money.
71.4, is it?
There we go. 71.4 million for the 3-day,
What?
83.5 for the 4-day, I believe.
Is that like as of today? Is that worldwide or just in the US?
Just in the US.
US and Canada.
127 worldwide. It made
Last
so
time I
much.
checked, it was at like 45 mil.
Yeah, it made
guess
more in a single day than the Suicide Squad made in a weekend.
Damn.
It's already triple worldwide. What the Suicide Squad is it? No. Oh, no. So the international for it is triple the domestic for Suicide Squad.
Wasn't the marketing budget like super insanely low too?
Probably.
I think they had said that it was like the lowest that Marvel's had in like 5 years or something like that. And
yeah,
it didn't feel like it.
No, I still feel like I've seen everything as much as I would have seen for any other Marvel film.
I kept seeing on social media that like people were, I think I sent this to Yousef, but like people were complaining about like how little it was being marketed, but there was like a trailer every day in August. I was like,
literally,
it's being marketed the same. I don't know.
I will say it was weird
Maybe it was
because
just people's reactions.
Yeah, we didn't get any like merch for Shang-Chi. Like, you know how Marvel movies and any really big blockbuster, you get like the collector cups and like the popcorn tins. And
oh,
shit.
yes.
We didn't get any
They
of that.
didn't have anything when I went.
Yeah.
Damn.
Somebody
maybe
asked
that's
us, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say maybe like that's like a COVID budget sort of deal.
I mean, maybe
with the theaters.
Yeah. Black Widow only got tins. They didn't get the cups either.
Black Widow had cups in our theater.
Lucky
but that's because Cineworld they just do cups. They don't do the tins. They do like the cups, and it has like a little figure that like sits on the cup.
Yeah.
But they do that for every big movie. It's not just Marvel.
Mm-hmm. The tins don't sell well. I don't know why they keep doing it. Like, we still have tins from Rise of Skywalker and Wonder Woman 1984.
They aren't really
I have a Wonder Woman one.
Do you?
It was gold. It was pretty.
I had an Infinity War and an Endgame one, but I ended up leaving them in the trunk of my car before I moved to BC. So like they're not very reusable. You'd need to have like a big house to like put them on a shelf and like put other things in them. But like, I don't know.
I used to use them.
I would use it as a
bin. I didn't bring them.
Just use them as a garbage bin.
Put a plastic bag in it. There you go. A nice little
bin
for the bathroom.
Perfect.
See?
Yeah.
Not for my bathroom. We've got to have a lid on our bins because greedy fuck behind me here likes to eat out the garbage.
Okay, well, let's get back onto Shang-Chi.
Yes, sorry.
Because that is yeah. Let's kind of go around and just share our initial thoughts. And this is going to be spoiler discussions because it made a lot of money. If you haven't seen Shang-Chi, go watch our non-spoiler review on YouTube, or our last podcast with Constance, Utak, and I, and then come back here. So Grayson, as our guest, you're the person who is like the most excited for this movie that I know. So go ahead. What did you think?
I was so excited for this movie. I read Shang-Chi as like a kid. Like he was like maybe my second favorite superhero for like years. And then I got older and I realized that like the older comics were like super problematic with like Fu Manchu and like all the issues of like the colorization of like the comic book. So when like I think in like 2008 there was like an announcement, like a low-key announcement that like Shang-Chi was coming to the big screen. And it wasn't going to be like the slate that we had for the first phase. It was going to be like Doctor Strange and like Shang-Chi, and we were going to get like a Spider-Man movie, and there's like all these things. So I was like so pumped, and then it never happened. So then when this movie was like announced, I was just like, oh, yes. And they did such a good job. It was such a beautiful movie. The retcons that like came into the comics like a few years ago were so beautifully done. Like they handled Shang-Chi murdering like the man who killed his mom like so well. Like I'm glad that it wasn't like the focus of the movie. It was just like this sort of like, oh, this did happen, but we're gonna move on. But like as a whole, I think the movie was like easily, in my opinion, the best Marvel introduction movie that we've had so far.
Yeah,
I'll agree.
Liam, go next.
I'm not a comic person, so I didn't know who Shang. Let's be honest, I'm just going to murder every name possible. But it's fine. I can't even get white people names right, and I am a white person. So, yeah, I didn't know who any of these people were, so I went in this fully blind, and I had the best time. It was just so good. It was so pretty. Aquafina was so funny. I would like Morris to be my full-time companion. Like, I think Trevor Slattery and Morris were possibly my favorite characters because they were just so ridiculous. Like I would quite happily. I want a Morris. What are them things?
Yeah.
They're like squidgy toys. I want to hug it. I want it to be my friend.
They sell them at Target now, apparently. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was gonna say those would be perfect plushies.
I don't have it. Oh, that's it. Plushie. I want a Morris plushie. I also don't have a Target. So fingers crossed we get one somewhere here.
Target's kind of an American thing, isn't it? Is there one in Toronto? Nah, no, I think it's an American thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got bored.
Remember Zellers?
Yeah.
Zellers.
I even know what Zellers is. I got bored and watched YouTube videos on how Zellers was the most popular. Then Zellers was going out of business, so Target bought all the stores, but then Target did crap, so Target then had to close them stores that they just bought.
Same happened with like Sobeys.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that one.
Anyways,
also, what else did I really like? There was just so much that I liked. I love that. Was the one who worked with his sister.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know his name.
John, that's it. I loved him. He was hilarious.
I was happy to see that he's sticking around too. Like he's not gonna be like some weird character that we just never see again. Like he's coming back.
No, I would love to focus more on the actual, like, not the 10 rings, like the 10 rings is like the what it is now, girl power place without actual being girl power. What else do I like? think that was. I liked everything, but like, I liked all the animals. I liked all the mystical
Yeah, that
animals.
was such
I
a
liked
cool
how,
part of the movie.
yeah, and they were like so ridiculously accurate to Chinese legends as well. I was like, that's super impressive. Yeah, it was just stupidly pretty, the film, though, wasn't it?
It was.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's my thoughts.
Constance, what do you think?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. I'm more of a DC person, but not in a it's DC or Marvel. You can't love. I love both, but I'm more familiar with DC. I was not excited only because I always dread the first movie because I'm like, I don't want it to be all backstory and all the, oh no, they're mad scientists and it goes wrong. Oh no, a radioactive spider. I just didn't want to see all that stuff. So the flashbacks, they're important. It's not the movie's fault. They have to be there because I'm sitting here going, yeah, who are these people? You need to school me. So they have to be there. But I was pleasantly surprised. I loved it too. I was like, okay, there's tropes here, but they don't ruin the movie for me, but they are there. So I had a good time because I went in going, oh no, is it going to be all like exposition? I was so afraid of that. The other thing I was afraid of that Liam, no one else has brought up, I was nervous about how they were going to address Iron Man 3 and all those problems that movie brought. I was like, because I can't decide what I think's better. Is it better to pretend that didn't happen or try to find a way to be like, hey, remember how we did that thing and that was really tone deaf? Maybe we should try to course correct,
Well, they tried to course correct it with All Hail the King.
I feel like they did the best that they could with that. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, did you watch all? It is All Hail the King, isn't it?
Oh, hell, the
Yeah.
King.
Yeah. Did you watch that beforehand?
No.
No, so that I think that's like they did kind of basically recap it, but it's just literally like thingy Traverse Lettery in prison, and then like the ending is like the Mandarin turns up and says he's gonna like get him or something. So you don't need to see it, but
it came out shortly after the third movie too, so it's like they dropped the third movie and then they kind of like immediately realized like, yeah, this was kind of maybe not what we should have done.
Yeah. And so the short is on Disney Plus now if you want to watch. They just added it a couple of days ago. So.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that because if I'm honest, because it's so new and I haven't seen it enough times to really have it in my head, I haven't decided if I like that Trevor is there or if I think, why are you doing this? This movie's so beautiful and we have all this great stuff going on. I can't help but feel like this is Marvel going, but remember, we're Marvel, and
I just loved it too much to have that like. I know it's Marvel. I know everyone hates like the cheesy like comedy stuff, but it's not that it's like written funny. It's that it's Sir Ben Kingsley, and it's just hilarious what they are making like a sir. He is a sir, and then he is doing that, and he is fully invested. And I think that's what makes us enjoy it more. I think if it was like just like a random like actor, I don't think it would be as funny. I think it's because of who he is.
I kind of agree with Constance though, in that it being like it was such a throwback, and also like it just made that part of the movie a lot goofier than it needed to be. But on the other hand, like it's not like they made him like this like huge character in it either. He was just kind of like there also. And I appreciated that. It wasn't like, oh, Ben Kingsley is now like part of this like trio of like Shang-Chi's sister, Awkwafina, and Shang-Chi. It was like, no, it's just like these three, and then also Sir Ben Kingsley is like off to the side, also wearing like dragon scale armor, which was really funny. But
yeah,
right. I don't have a problem with the performance or anything like that. I went into the movie going, are they going to do this thing where they're like, remember Iron Man 3? We promise it's better. And I was just so scared of what they were going to do. And once he shows up, like how it's a big moment of like, and the camera comes in, bam, there he is. I was like, my first reaction was, oh no. But then he started talking and they started doing the stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe this is okay. I haven't decided yet. But that's one thing that I'm like, I don't know.
Did you not just borderline cry laughing when he was gay? You can see him too.
That
No,
was
he's
fun.
really good. He's really good. I don't know. A big complaint with Marvel movies is why can't a movie just be its own thing? You know, connective tissue is important, and I'm there for the connective tissue. But at the same time, if you were to just watch one of these movies and say, I'm not going to watch anything but this one movie, could you watch it and not have all this stuff of like, oh, well, you don't get it because you haven't seen the other 24 films? Meh. You know, like you don't want that feeling. Like my husband, he's trying to be in this world and he keeps rewatching them because he can't remember everybody. And he's like, wait, what's this? And he's so confused, and it's so easy to confuse him. And I'm like, yeah, it'd be nice if I could just show you, I don't know, just one of these, like just Thor Ragnarok. And it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what else is going on. Just embrace this for what it is. But there's so much going on. Now, Shang-Chi does not have that. There's only a few snippets. Like a lot of people say, oh, this is just another Marvel movie. I don't agree with that sentiment. I think the whole time I was like, this doesn't feel like a Marvel movie to me. It feels very different in a good way because they have to evolve. So it's not the same old, same old. So I went in thinking, oh, it's going to be this origin story and it's going to be so ridden with, we got to explain who we are and be condescending to the audience. And I didn't get that feeling. So I thought it was a nice surprise that it was actually refreshing and entertaining. And it had all these great themes that I'm sure we're all about to talk about. So we'll let Yousef say his overall thoughts.
Okay. Yeah, I really like this movie. As you know, I saw this early. Don't want to brag, but yeah. I agree with Constance. It's not like your typical Marvel movie. What I've really liked about Marvel Phase 4 is that they're like kind of moving away from their like formula. Like it's still there, but they're trying to take more risks and stuff. Some of the risks pay off, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and some of them don't, like WandaVision.
Disagree.
Yeah, I know. But I think this one really does pay off. Most of my thoughts you can hear in the other reviews, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I want to say that I loved all of the connective tissues that you guys are talking about, because that's what makes Marvel. You know, I think Marvel's trying to be too much like DC, or no, sorry, DC's trying to be too much like Marvel. I think Marvel needs to just stay in its own thing. Like I like the comedy. I'm with Liam. I liked when Trevor Slattery showed up. I think it would have been awkward if you just did not mention that at all. I like that it was just kind of a throwaway line that like, oh, some white American like took my symbol and made a terrorist organization. I thought that was funny. I was a little bit worried
I did like the line America was scared of an orange.
Yeah.
Like it just hadn't computed until it's something so obvious as well.
Yeah.
And then actually hearing them say it, I was like, oh, holy shit, yeah.
It was a really
it's a name for an orange.
I was really worried that people would have the same reaction that they did to the Ralph Boner reveal with that, or like with Nick Fury getting his eyes clawed out by a cat. You know what I mean? I thought people would be underwhelmed. I'm happy that they didn't. But Trevor Slatter was really funny. Like when he was playing dead and the thing came up to him and he was like, it's just a performance, like play dead with me or whatever he said. I think all that stuff was great. My favorite moment of the movie was the first end credit scene. And the whole end credit scene was really good. But I love when they went back to the karaoke with Wong and sung Hotel California. Like my theater went crazy when that happened. So let's talk about the end credit scenes a little bit. There were two of them. What was the consensus? I thought the first one was good, like really good. And I thought the second one was a tad underwhelming. Thoughts?
I will go with you on that. I will say I did also think the second one was slightly underwhelming just because of how good the first one was.
Yeah.
But I think the second one plants good seeds for what could happen going forward. So I'm not too mad. I think that one is on par with like other normal Marvel after credit scenes.
Yeah.
I think they were both pretty underwhelming for me personally, just because the only reason I say that is because weirdly they were like, oh, it's a beacon calling out to something, and then Shang-Chi is like, oh, but who? And then they just drop it. Like they don't like Carol Danvers dips, Bruce Banner dips, and then like Wong's like, you're stuck here now. It's like, what? Wait, like you're just gonna set up. I get the setting up like some sort of like, it's probably like an Eternals connection, like it's a piece of technology from the Eternals, which is fine. But like you just set up like this huge sentence, and then there was still so much left in the end credit scene that it was like, oh, you could have just kept going
Yeah.
instead of like making a joke of it. And then the second end credit scene was just so clearly probably a setup for Ironheart. I think
Ooh.
like the Disney Plus show, because Ironheart does have connections to the Ten Rings organization in the comics. So that might be who she's dealing with, which I think that would be really cool, which I was like super fine with this. Like, obviously his sister would take over the Ten Rings. Like the entire movie, she was in search of, in her own words, her own, what did she say? Her own empire. If my father won't let me join his empire, I'll make my own. So like she was like, it was very clear throughout the movie that she would not dismantle the Ten Rings, but take it over.
Yeah. I'm glad you're here because I didn't get that Ironheart connection at all.
I didn't either.
I think that is a really good way to tie in. I like the concept of them doing end credit scenes that tie into the Disney Plus movies, because it makes the Disney Plus movies feel a lot bigger. It like really puts them on a pedestal, which I really need, because the Disney Plus movies are, in my opinion, like the issues of a comic book, whereas a movie is like the entire book. So like you get the entire novel. So I need those Disney Plus movies to be kind of put on a pedestal.
Yeah. I think sorry, but Constance, before you go, because I feel like I'm gonna forget this if I don't say it. I feel while I was watching it, I wanted them to kind of switch the order of, I think both end credit scenes would have done a lot better if they just kind of switched places. But I get that they wanted the Ten Rings will return like they do with every movie.
But also I care way more about what's going on the grander whole Marvel Cinematic Universe storyline, because this is the first movie that's actually pushing the story forward, I feel like, after Endgame. Like Spider-Man Far From Home kind of did that in a way, but not the general storyline.
Yeah, exactly. Or I would have liked a Riri Williams name drop for the second end credit scenes if they wanted to keep the place.
Isn't she gonna be like 16 though?
Isn't she?
Isn't Riri Williams like 16 though?
I don't know.
Yeah, like why would they be like, the 16-year-old girl is building an Iron Man suit?
I make a point. But Constance, what did you think of the end credit scenes?
I agree with all that, including switching the order. My experience in my theater, now some context. My daughter loves Wong so much, and she didn't see the trailer. She didn't know about this movie. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go see the next Marvel movie," and she's like, "Eternals doesn't come out until November." I'm like, "No." She didn't. So she totally missed all that. So she didn't see any breakdowns or anything. So she was like, "Oh, I wonder if anyone's gonna pop in this movie." I'm like, "We'll see." So when he comes on screen in the movie, she was genuinely like, oh, I mean, she was happy. She was jumping out of her. She was so happy. And I was like, yes.
That's how I felt about Abomination.
I wish we still lived in a world where we could be genuinely surprised, because I was so jealous of her that moment. I'm like, she had no idea. And this is how it looks. It's like, see, you're making your audience is quieter because you're revealing everything in trailers. Anyway. So in the end credit scene, when Wong comes back, of course, she's like, he's back. At first she was worried like, oh, that's it. But then he came back. So because who I had with me, that changed how I experienced it, because she was just so happy.
It's so cute.
She loves Wong. I was like, oh, of all people they could have stuck in here, I am so glad, because she loves him. Anyway, but the scenes themselves, yes, I was also underwhelmed, but this is not unique to this one either. I always appreciate the end credit scenes later, again, because I don't know the comics that well. So when they do the whole, here's Mjolnir, and I knew Thor was coming, but since we didn't meet him yet, I was like, but I'm not connected to him yet. So I'm not really excited, because I'm like, well, what if I don't like this character? And then you watch the movie, and then when you go back and do a rewatch, you get a little bit more. You're like, oh yeah, now Thor's next. So I always feel like retroactively they're more fun, because you know what's next. Because I'm guilty. Again, this is how stupid I was back in 2012. I went and saw Avengers, and when they did the Thanos tease, I didn't know who Thanos was. So everyone around me is like, oh, and I'm like, what? Yeah, I had no idea why everyone was losing their mind, because I was like, I don't know who that is. What am I looking at? So
why is everyone excited for the Grimace?
those I feel like it sucks because those end credit scenes up until Black Widow, I feel like were all for fans, like all for like diehard like comic fans and like movie fans. So like the fact that like I would go to the movies with people that wouldn't know that stuff, and I'd be like out of my seat. Like when Thanos in 2012, I'm a 12-year-old boy freaking out in the theaters. I'm like, let's go! Are you kidding me? And I was just so excited. And everybody around me was like, okay,
Well, you
I don't
would
really
hate
care.
going to the cinema in the UK then.
Oh, I love end credit scenes. I feel like they only just recently got pretty mid with Black Widow. And also Falcon and the Winter Soldiers.
Let's chill on the Black Widow hate.
No, I know you love it. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that the end credit scene was super underwhelming. And also like Falcon and Winter Soldiers end credit scene was like I also don't care.
Yeah.
And like just recently, because they're not setting up this larger story anymore. They're just setting up setting up the larger story, which is fine. I just really want to skip to that so that we know what's kind of coming.
Yeah.
But it's Secret Avengers, or what is it, Dark Avengers, or whatever.
That's the
Thunderbolts.
the
That's
theory.
it.
The theory is like definitely that sort of line.
I'm the opposite of you, Grayson. I do not like end credit scenes. I think I don't know. End credit scenes are just kind of like a waste of time for me, to be honest with you, because it's either a scene from a later movie. Like, so remember when Ant-Man just literally played a clip from Civil War, but it was like cut up, and I was like, "What's the point of this?" And as a movie theater worker,
was that the one where
Bucky's
arm
Winter Soldier? Oh, that one was so annoying.
Yeah. I like when they do the joke ones. I think those are pretty funny because I work in a movie theater and I have seen the Black Widow end credit scene, for example, easily over 500 times. I can quote it by heart and I hate it so much. Like I liked it when I first saw it. I want to blow my brains out every time I see it now. But like it's really funny
it's not
to me.
that great.
Oh, come on. My favorite one though was I think Far From Home, when it was the Captain America one, and just seeing everybody really excited, and then when that came up, just seeing everybody's face drop and like the groans. Remember that one when he was like, patience?
I loved that.
Because
if you can't make fun of yourself, then you have some, security issues. I'm like, to me, that's the best one. I was like, haha. They're all like, oh, you idiot, you stayed here for nothing.
I agree. But back to Shang-Chi again. I think I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, I like that they had Carol Danvers in this movie because Destin Daniel Cretton, who directed this, every movie he's directed before has had Brie Larson in it, and I guarantee you Brie Larson helped them get the job. So it's kind of a nice little thing that they get to work together again. And I don't like Captain Marvel, as you know, but I think this is the best that she has been in the MCU. So I know it was like 30 seconds, but
the 10 seconds.
Yeah. And Bruce, they need to figure out what they're doing with Bruce because he was Professor Hulk. I thought he was staying. Now he's just normal Bruce. Like they need to pick a lane and stay in it. So
I think I kind of like I'm the opposite. I like the fact that the end credit scene,
what you're getting,
that you don't, because in Endgame it was very much okay, I'm Professor Hulk, I'm Bruce Banner the Hulk now, and now all of a sudden we get this end credit scene after Endgame. He has the sling and he's Bruce, and it's like, oh, you're just not gonna mention that because like it felt like a permanent thing in Endgame.
There's a really good theory going around about that, actually. Some people think that because he is the one who used the gauntlet, because it has a gamma ray signature, that somehow using the gauntlet was bad for him. And they think the reason he goes back is to set up She-Hulk, because apparently in the comics, the way she becomes the Hulk is he has to do a blood transfusion to her. And they're like, oh, if we make him go back to normal, whenever that story happens, he'll be like, oh, I can give her my blood because I'm not the Hulk anymore because the gauntlet, destroyed it somehow. that's going to convince him that it's okay to share his blood. That's a theory that's going out. I forget who said it. I saw it online. I was like, ooh. Because I was like, yeah, where does She-Hulk come from? And I was like, that's a good way to do it.
She-Hulk
is a good way to words. That is a good way to do it.
Yeah, there is multiple ways that like She-Hulk becomes She-Hulk, and that being one of them. But like, yeah, I just don't want Hulk to go away. I want him to stay. I want to get old man Hulk. You know what I'm talking about? Like with the shield and the battle axe. Like I just want like all of that.
Yeah, I like Mark.
I think this time.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, before we end our Shang-Chi conversation, let's kind of go around and share our Marvel rankings, just in terms of like where you'd put Shang-Chi and all that fun stuff. Liam, you're nodding. You go first.
Okay. I put it at number 6. I believe it is the highest origin I have. I've got it screenshotted. Yeah, so it is the highest origin story of any. So I have it as number 6. So I've got Winter Soldier as first, Falcon and Winter Soldier as second, Thor Ragnarok, Endgame, Far From Home, and then Shang-Chi.
That is a good list. That is taste right there.
It is.
Grayson, I know you don't agree. So with at least Falcon. So you go next. What's your list?
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. My list, I have Shang-Chi at number 4.
Oh.
My list goes Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Endgame, Shang-Chi, Captain America, Doctor Strange, then Far From Home, and then Ultron. I think you guys are out of your mind if you think Falcon and Winter Soldier is that high. It is just the only reason I say that is because when you compare the things like the visuals, the acting, the storytelling, the cinematography of the movies, and then on top of that, the action is just like Shang-Chi, in my opinion, is just an unreal. Like it's such an accomplishment for everybody who was involved on the set, just because they had like the Tai Chi champion of the world and Taekwondo champion of the world like training them, and they had like all these choreographers teaching them. Who's the cinematographer? Bill Pope just did an absolute amazing job, and like the Matrix visuals that he had in like that ballet fight at the beginning of the movie was just amazing. Like it was just such a powerful action movie. And I feel like when you think about the best action movie that we've had before Shang-Chi, you think of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, like that on the highway fight that they have, like just unreal choreography. This is better than that. So that's why mine is so high.
So I'm not basing it on choreography though, things like that. Like for mine, I'm basing it more on the story aspects. Story aspects and humor are my two main go-tos when I'm making lists. So Winter Soldier is always top of my list just because I just found it so clever how they managed to keep it within the MCU, but make an actually good political thriller, but keep it MCU. So that's obviously that's why that's my number 1. And the reason why Falcon and the Winter Soldier comes in at number 2 for me is because I think it kept up with that vein. It kept the political thriller aspects, made it longer, and also added in the racial tension within America storyline, and the way they handled it. I just thought was so beautiful that I just couldn't put it further down on my list.
I agree in that sense. I think Shang-Chi handled like the racial aspect not a lot better, but I think they handled it better in the way that like it wasn't politicized, but it was more like, I feel like if you guys noticed, the extras in most of the movie were Asian, and there was only 2 white cast members. So the Asian extras in the background were just chilling. Like they were just being them. They weren't doing anything specific. There was no like powerful message in the movie, but also like Falcon and Winter Soldier came out at a different time, and same goes for like Black Panther, for example. Like they came out at different times in the world where those
I'll not tell
types
you
of
where Black
messages were
Panther
like
is on my list.
super important. So yeah, I
Right.
don't know. I just like how Shang-Chi handled it in such a nonchalant way. Like these are people living. There's no
Yeah,
important cultural message. It's just this is that.
Yes.
that's why I prefer things like Falcon, where the political message is at the forefront.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
especially at the moment with obviously the hate that is going against the Asian community, especially within America,
probably
well,
would've been-
around the world, but especially in America, there is a lot of hate towards the Asian community right now. So I think if they had possibly tried to put in a stronger political message, it makes sure the people that wouldn't seek out that political message see it.
Yes.
And that's why I think things like Falcon are important, because there is a lot of people that wouldn't watch something that was a racially political film or TV show or something like that. And I think putting it at the forefront means then people who wouldn't see that but do watch the MCU get that political message and have it put in their face.
I disagree with that. Now that the white men are done talking about racial racial things, no, I agree with half of what Liam said, and I completely disagree with the other half. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is really high for me. It's number one. All of you know it. Grayson, after talking to you, it's like has fallen down a little bit. Sure. But I think I like that they kind of did the nonchalant thing that you were talking about, Grayson, with this movie, because we need this to kind of succeed. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of done of making every movie with people of color in the leads, like about them being people of color instead of them just kind of living their life. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was good because that's what that thing was. With this, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier wasn't very well received when it got to the more political aspects. Like the last episode, I think is the best finale that Marvel has done out of Loki and WandaVision.
The thing about Falcon and Winter Soldier though is that transfer from Captain America to Falcon in the comics is a political storyline. Like that just is. It's such.
Well, that's why it made sense. That's why it made sense for this and not for Shang-Chi to be this big political thing. Like I liked that all of the extras were Asian. I liked that this was kind of a celebration of Asian culture, and it felt very authentic too. They spoke a lot of Mandarin in the film, and Marvel, to their credit, is putting out the film with complete Mandarin subtitles for people in a lot of major cities. Which
I have something to say about that, because the in the movie the subtitles translated to English, they're not perfect. Like they're pretty good, but they're not perfect. Like I was reading, there was a part in the movie where when Wenwu says, I think I wrote it down here, I've lived 10 of your lifetimes, young man. Like when he's in Ta Lo, that's such a dope line. But the closer translation is so much cooler. He said, I've tasted more salt than you have rice. And that is so badass. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's so cool. And yeah, there was just some translations that I wish they would have kept, like the closer translation to it.
Yeah. But like on that note, to steal Anthony's phrase, since he's no longer with us, he didn't die, Grayson. Just we parted ways. Anyway, I liked also the choreography of the movie. Like it felt very much like not your typical Marvel fight. Marvel pre like phase 4, all of their fights felt very choreographed and performative. I've talked about this a lot, but with phase 4, with WandaVision and with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, no one's pulling their punches. Like you feel every hit. And Grayson, I know you watched this in D-Box, which is the movie seats. Like it went hard.
the reason I disagree with your statement before that people are pulling punches is because I've seen all these movies in D-Box. So, like, for example, like when Thanos is kicking the living shit out of Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War, that was like that in my mind. That's probably one of the most harshest fights that I've seen in theaters because the seat nearly threw me out of it. So seeing these movies in D-Box is like super important to me because of that reason. Like everything feels very dull outside.
How do you watch these films in these seats though? I don't get it.
You just them, Liam. You sit in them.
Yeah, well, I like I did it.
Oh, like you
hated it. Like, I love it. Popcorn in my hair. I had popcorn on my shirt. I had popcorn on my pants.
How much do your seats move? Our seats don't move that much.
Ours was fully like throwing me everywhere. My friend nearly fell off at one point, and then he started screaming because I was as the 4D one, and it started spraying water in his face.
Oh, the 4D.
Oh, that's 40X.
40 is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was the same as the like where it was just the seat, and then it was it Infinity War? I think it was Infinity War that we went to see in it, and like he's like the. Like you'll probably think I'm quite camp. He is like next level, like borderline a girl camp, and in the middle of this theater, squealed like a pig. He got water in his hair.
I love the D-Box seats. Like I don't see a Marvel movie without the D-Box seats, and when I see the movies after, like at home or whatever, yes, the fighting does feel a lot more like the punches do feel a lot more,
but not in phase 4. Not in phase 4. That's like,
I disagree.
That's
Black Widow was so mid. I don't know why you're
so pumped
about it. The fighting, like there really wasn't even any Black Widow fighting in that movie. Like when I
don't need an Asian crew to fight. I need Yelena Belova and I need the other.
You just think that she is fine as fuck. That's all it is.
Anyway,
and you're not wrong.
Back to my list. So number 1, yes, is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. By the way, D-Box, I hope you enjoyed that little ad that we did for you. I expect a check in the mail in 3 to 5 business days. Number 1 is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Number 2 is Spider-Man Far From Home. I will never forget, because I also went to an early screening of that, not to brag. I will never forget the Mysterio, like trippy thing that happened where he gets hit by the bus at the end. Like that alone is one of the best things that Marvel's done. Number 3 is Avengers Endgame.
Train.
What? What did I say?
It's a train. You said bus.
Oh, train. Yes. Choo-choo. Number 3 is Avengers Endgame. I mean, it's amazing that they were able to accomplish it just for like the sheer scope of it alone. It deserves to be there. Number 4 is Black Widow, because fuck all of you. The opening credits of the movie were so good. The reason I love Falcon and Winter Soldier and Black Widow is because I kind of love the smaller kind of indie style of filmmaking. And I know that's not what Marvel is, so I accept that people don't really like those two, but I do, and that's why it's number 4. Number 5 is Spider-Man Homecoming. Number 6 is Winter Soldier. 7 is Guardians 2. 8 is Civil War. 9 is Age of Ultron, and 10 is Shang-Chi. I recently did a rewatch. Grayson, I'm sorry. I recently did a rewatch with my friend of the Marvel movies, and a lot of them are better than I remember, and a lot of them are worse than I remember. And like Shang-Chi is really, really, really good. All the Marvel movies are really, really good. I think the first legitimately bad Marvel movie is like Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers, Captain Marvel, the Hulk, and Thor: The Dark World are legitimately bad.
Did you just say the first? Did you just say Avengers?
I did say the first Avengers, yes. Yep. All the rest of them are actually pretty good, including Iron Man 3. So that is my list. Constance?
It's funny. Mine are just the movies. I didn't even think about ranking the shows. I was like, oh, I should think about that. I'm currently rewatching all the movies as well. Out of origin stories, I would say Shang-Chi is the first, because of, when you grow up, when I did, and you had all the original Batman movies and Spider-Man movies and X-Men, by the time we get to a movie like this, you're like, oh, this again. Yay. Not really. But it was, again, wonderful surprise. So out of the origin movies, it's the first one. I think it's going to land in the third spot or maybe the fourth spot overall, because what I use to measure movies is, first of all, who are my favorite characters? Who do I want to spend time with again? You know, how much do I want to watch the movie again? Because I think the movie overall is so well made. I think my top two are going to stay around the same, which is I like Civil War and Infinity War because of their endings. Black Panther used to be really high, but the more I thought about the ending, I was like, these endings. This is something else we didn't talk about. One thing that makes me a little sad about Shang-Chi is they had to do that whole big, it's all the monsters. And even though that dragon was gorgeous, I love that dragon. I kind of wish it was just Wenwu and Shang-Chi fighting and doing the whole, this is who I am and this is what I believe and no, you're wrong. I'd rather it just be them. And we didn't need all that other stuff. I mean, it was beautifully done. And I'm like Liam, I love all those creatures.
Pulled away from the martial arts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since I like the rings themselves because they're versatile. It's not like Mjolnir where you throw it, it smashes things and it comes back.
Yeah.
They wear them, but like you can use all of them. You can use half of them. You can step on them. You can group them together. I like that I know that's not how they are in the comics. I did do a little homework because I didn't know how deep we were going to go. I appreciate the change because I think it helps it, make so it doesn't look like any other weapon that we've seen so far. So I like Civil War. I like that ending just because it is Cap and Iron Man and you feel it. You're like, this is going to be over. They are done after this. I think that's really heavy. And I like the ending of Infinity War because first of all, I wasn't expecting that because they keep tricking you into thinking, they're going to win. And then they don't. So I like darkness. So I like the dark ending.
Yeah.
So I think this will land in 3, maybe 4. It just depends.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, talk about pulling your punches. I mean, Captain America and Sebastian Stan, they didn't pull their punches with Iron Man in Civil War. Like that was brutal.
That's because Tony wanted smoke and they gave it to him. They threw hands with him. I love that movie.
And I'm not even gonna bring up where I put Black Panther on my list because it is low. It was low.
I can't believe Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is so high on your list.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is so good, bro.
I almost threw up in my mouth. Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 8, 10th from the bottom for me.
No,
I have Guardians 1 and 11, and then I have Volume 2 at 17.
Number 2 is so much better than number 1.
I prefer number 1. I prefer the whole Xandar scene.
You're wrong.
And then I have Black Panther at 24.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is in my 19th spot, and that's the second one, and then the first one is in my 17th.
Jesus. Well, Black Panther
not that good.
22 for me.
That's why I have it worse then.
Yeah.
It's not that they're bad movies. It's that other movies are way better.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's all about taste at the end, right? Because all of the Marvel movies are good. Like, we can joke about hating Marvel all we want. I joke about it because apparently you dislike one episode of WandaVision and you become a Marvel hater.
Literally.
It's hard out there.
Don't say that on TikTok. They'll eat you alive.
Yeah. Back to Shang-Chi. I agree with what Constance said about the third act because I had problems with the third act personally because it felt very much like this big Marvel thing. Like you said, they kind of dropped the whole martial arts thing and it was just Marvel fighting 101. You know what I mean? I would have liked them to focus more on the relationship between Wenwu and Shang. Because I think they did that really well. Grayson, you and I talked about this, the relationship between Asian parents and their kids, and I think this movie depicted it really well.
I think the only downside is though.
I'm happy I'm happy that so for me the third act is one of the best that I've seen in the MCU, and the reason I say that, the only reason I say that is because I like that the focus was Wenwu and Shang-Chi, but I also liked that when that problem was resolved, it wasn't like the entire problem was resolved. I like that there was still a problem to be fixed, and we had like that super badass martial arts fighting with the rings, and then we also had the incredible force that like Wenwu gave him into the water, which was so satisfying for me in D-Box. But like, shout out D-Box. And yeah, no, it was insane. It was so powerful. And I really appreciated the fact that there was this they were still world building with this like on probably the biggest scale that we've seen since I think Doctor Strange, that like there's this entirely different world in the MCU. And I appreciated that the problem wasn't solved right after Wenwu's death. I like that there was still like because in my theater I was out loud saying, holy shit, that's a demon. Like that's literally a demon that I'm looking at right now. And like that feels like such a major setup for like Blade and like all of that sort of world. Like it just felt like
shit, yes it does.
It just felt like such a massive expansion that I was fine with the MCU rigmarole of the fighting. And also they weren't doing martial arts in the way that it was one-on-one, but it was still martial arts in the way that he defeated like the Soul Sucker. Like in the air, he did the whole like twirl his foot around and then he went and then bodied that bitch. But like,
I hadn't even clicked on to
the blade
brings in obviously the blade things and all that kind of stuff.
That's very much the first sort of hellish thing that we've had confirmed in the MCU.
Yeah. I mean, watching WandaVision was pretty hellish. I'm not gonna lie
besides the Darkhold, but I feel like the thing is though is that if you think about what what that huge monster looked like, it looked like Cthulhu. It looked like very traditional like Norse demonic beings, which is like such a huge confirmation to have in the MCU on the grander scheme, especially when you know what's coming. It's just like I was really pumped to see that personally.
I wouldn't take it away, because I think if you did take it away, you wouldn't have taken away that wouldn't have given Wenwu the starter point of bringing the kids back in, because I think it gave him a better story arc. Because obviously that was the creature that was talking to him like his dead wife. He thought he could bring the wife back. That's why he got the kids. And I think it makes him a villain, but it makes him a justified villain rather than just an arsehole.
It also really, put Shang-Chi like on the map in terms of like power level, like what he can compete with. Because like hand to hand, like he might be able to beat Falcon, but like when it comes to some of the more powerful beings in the MCU, like Spider-Man, like he might get his ass whooped, but not after that. Not after that finale. After that finale, I don't know. He might be kind of like right next to Thor with like how he was acting with those 10 rings.
I mean, Simu Liu, he can't deliver a line to save his life, but he really knows how to throw a punch.
I saw your review. I saw your review, and I thought, like, realistically, this is what I wrote. We don't have the best acting from Simu Liu, which is fine. He didn't put up a horrible performance, but the best example of the parts that weren't great were like the first dinner with friends. The acting came off a bit disingenuous, a little amateur, but it's clear that as the movie goes on, the actors, including Awkwafina, because I don't think that she did very great in the beginning of the movie, they really fit into the footprints of the characters. Like they actually really kind of slide into it by the end. I know you're wagging your finger because of Awkwafina. She contributed a lot to the movie, but I don't think that she was the best part about it. I could have done.
She was
without
the
Awkwafina.
second best. She was the second best part of it. I will give you that, because Trevor Slattery was the best.
Well,
Trevor Slattery and Morris together.
Okay. I think we've talked enough about this movie. So let's move on.
I love this movie.
We might have a second episode. We don't know.
I'm going to see it again. Like I'm gonna go see it again.
100%. And
I do want to go see it again.
It could get higher on my list. So follow us on Twitter if you want to know if it's higher on my list. I haven't plugged our merch yet this whole time we've been talking because it hasn't arrived yet, but this is our design. It is Constance as the Flower Queen from Midsommar. It's designed by Kyle. It's available on Redbubble. You'll find the links. Also, we have the t-shirt, my t-shirt. We have Liam's t-shirt, which he's not wearing for whatever reason.
Because it's in the wash.
Okay. And then we have all of us on a shirt. Grayson, you should get some.
You should get mine because mine's the best because I'm on it.
On his. All right. Before we go, we're gonna play a fun little game. So on the council, we play games at the end. Now, the past 2 episodes, we've been really like kind of unprepared. The first last week's episode, Constance, we were like completely unprepared. This one we were a little bit prepared, but I forgot the game. And so instead of playing a game, we're gonna do a BuzzFeed quiz. Now, this quiz is called the One Trivia. Here's one trivia question for each Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So it's gonna be the movies in order of release. It'll be a question and you guys have to answer. It's multiple choice, but I don't think you'll need the multiple choice just reading through this. If you know the answer, yell your name out. First person to yell it gets to guess. If you get it right, you get a point.
Yell your own name out.
Yell your own name out. Yes, please don't
yell my name.
No. Okay, are you ready? So the first movie obviously is Iron Man. So the question for that is, what song plays at the beginning of the movie?
Liam.
Yes.
Oh no, it's Led Zeppelin, but I don't know the name of the song.
I don't think it's Led Zeppelin. I think it's AC/DC.
Oh, it is.
I can't remember. Yeah, give it
the multiple choice. Is it A, Iron Man, B, Back in Black, C, Ordinary World,
Grayson,
or D, Stairway to Heaven? Yes, Grayson.
It's Back in Black.
It is Back in Black. Yes.
Go.
I think Liam, you got confused because in Spider-Man they make a joke about it being Led Zeppelin because Tom Holland baby.
I thought Led Zeppelin was in the. I'm sure there was a Led Zeppelin song in the first Iron Man.
I don't know.
I thought Led Zeppelin was in. Led Zeppelin's in Thor Ragnarok.
There we go. And yes, if we get a question wrong, because last time we played a Cinderella quiz and Liam got a question wrong because Missy Elliott isn't in the film.
But that's so she was supposed to be playing the Doc Brown role. Well, so on IMDb,
yeah.
When I was writing that out, that's where I got that from, because I was like, oh, Missy Elliott's in it. I hadn't seen that at all. And then literally when the film, like when the previews started going for it and people started in the what's it called, the embargo lifted, it changed from Missy Elliott to Doc Brown.
Yeah.
So no one knew he was even in the movie until people actually seen it.
Well, not a lot of people. I saw it. I didn't hate Cinderella, but enough about it. I like Cinderella more than I liked the first Avengers movie. All right, question 2. I'm kidding. I wouldn't go that far. The Incredible Hulk. What does Tony tell Thaddeus Ross at the end of the film? Is it A, that he wants to study the Hulk, B, that he knows about S.H.I.E.L.D., C, that they're putting together a team, or D, that Thaddeus owes money? Liam.
They're putting together a team.
Yeah. Good job.
There was an idea.
Number 3, Iron Man 2. What fake name does Natasha use when she first meets Tony?
Constance.
Yes.
Natalie Rushman.
Yes.
Damn.
Okay.
Did you just watch that movie?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Damn, that is
that's good,
deep.
yeah.
That's a deep cut.
But yeah, it's Natalie Rushman. If you go see, I thought you were gonna get this, Grayson, because if you go to see a movie at Cineplex, they have like the pre-show, and there's a thing that David Harbour does, and this is one of the trivia questions that they ask.
Not right now.
But again, you don't go to movies really.
Right now, they're still doing the Jungle Cruise.
The one with Jack Whitehall.
She can't swim. I don't really care.
Yeah. Okay. Thor. What does Thor want another of when he's in the diner?
Grayson.
Yes.
I think it's coffee, isn't it?
It's a cup of coffee. Yeah, he drinks it. Yeah, the first Thor is underrated. I think it's actually like quite a funny film.
It is. I love Kat Dennings.
Yeah.
I
All
just
right,
adore
Captain
her.
America, the First Avenger. I don't think any of you are going to get this. Where does Peggy tell Steve she wants to meet him for the dance before he plunges into the ice? Is it A, the Cotton Club, B, the Stork Club, C, El Morocco, or D, the Copacabana?
Liam,
Yes.
Stork Club.
Yes. How'd you know that?
I
was
have a
gonna
good
say-
memory.
All right. Well, yes, it's the Stork Club. And he really didn't want that. So he yeeted into the ice.
You
The
should have said
Avenger.
Copacabana. He'd have been there.
The Avengers. Natasha remarks to Clint that the Battle of New York is a lot like what?
Constance.
Yes.
Budapest.
Budapest. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I forgot the word. That's how underwhelming Black Widow was.
Moving on.
Oh. Iron Man 3. What is the name of the little boy Tony befriends while stranded? Okay.
Damn.
Is it A, Harry, B, Henry, C, Harley?
Grayson.
Liam.
Yes. Grayson.
Harley.
It's Harley, yeah. Yeah. That kid was annoying as hell. Jesus Christ.
Really? I thought he was so funny. Remember when Tony when he's like, "Oh, my dad went to go get cigarettes at the store and then he never came back." And Tony's like, "Ah, that sucks. Dad's leave. No need to be a pussy about it." That shit's so funny.
All right, Thor: The Dark World. Where do Sif and Volstag hide the Reality Stone at the end of the movie?
Liam.
Grayson.
Constance.
Liam.
Nowhere with the Collector.
Yes, they give it to the Collector. By the way, did you guys see that What If episode with the Collector? That was wild, man.
When did
Did you know that
Collector
was-
get buff?
Did you know that was Benicio del Toro voicing him? I thought it was a really bad voice actor because whoa.
It was.
Once the
It
credits
wasn't
rolled,
great.
I knew it was him.
Well, yeah, but beforehand, I was like, Jesus Christ. who did
Just
that?
because it was him doesn't mean that he wasn't a bad voice actor.
It was really, really,
He
really
did
bad. Yeah.
terrible.
All right, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Liam, I expect you to get this. This is your number one. What does the Winter Soldier say after Steve recognizes him for the first time? Is it A, who the hell is Bucky? B, do I know you? C, he's gone? Or D, what you say?
Constance.
Liam.
Yeah, Constance.
Damn.
Who the hell is Bucky?
Yeah. Good job. We're tied 3-3. Good job. We'll
Damn,
see who wins.
we're keeping points.
We're keeping
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. It means nothing, but yes, we are. Guardians of the Galaxy. What were the 3 items Rocket claims he needs in prison in order to escape? Is it A, a security card, a fork, and an ankle monitor? B, a security band, a battery, and a prosthetic leg? C, a pair of binoculars, a detonator, and a prosthetic leg? Or D, a knife, cable wires, and Peter's mixtape?
Constance.
Liam.
Grayson.
Constance.
B, the arm band card, the battery, and the leg.
Yeah. And he didn't actually need the leg. Comedy gold. All right. Avengers: Age of Ultron. This movie's so good. So
It
good.
is.
What word does Tony utter that makes
Grayson.
Steve say language? Yes, Grayson. Shit. Yeah. Good job. All right. Ant-Man. What animal does Darren Cross unsuccessfully shrink?
Liam.
Constance.
Liam, your box went yellow first, so I'm gonna go with you.
That's fine.
A sheep.
It was a sheep, yes. And it exploded. That's so sad. You could have either like
I was feeding sheep today.
you were feeding sheep.
Yeah, I was at a farm.
Oh yeah, with the meerkats.
I fed sheep and I fed goats. And I didn't feed. I stroked a duckling or a baby chicken was one of them.
I don't need to
And
know what
I
you're
stroked
stroking.
guinea pigs and rabbits.
Interesting. all really delicious animals, except for the guinea pig. I haven't
I
tasted,
bet
but goat.
animals are
Goat.
friends, not food.
All right,
Especially
Captain America Civil War. Who isn't on Team Iron Man? Vision, Black Panther, Hawkeye, or Black Widow?
Grayson.
Constance.
Liam.
Grayson?
Vision. Oh wait, no.
No, Liam.
Damn.
Liam.
Constance.
Liam.
Constance.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
I was thinking,
Grayson.
yeah, that's my favorite movie. Immediately I said Vision because he shot
Rhodey.
he shot Rhodey, and I was like, wait, that was an accident.
By
Damn it.
mistake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Team Cap was lame as hell, but like Team Cap, it was where it was at, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Team Cap had some lit ass characters. Also, yeah, but Iron Man had Spider-Man, which is fine on its
He had
own.
Black Panther too.
Yeah.
Iron
Iron Man was kind of goated too.
Oh yeah. Doctor Strange. What type of doctor is Stephen Strange?
Grayson.
Yes.
He is a brain surgeon.
Yes. Yeah, he's a neurosurgeon, which I think is the same thing.
It's the same thing.
I'm not smart. Yeah, okay. Cool. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Oh boy, I know you guys are so excited about this one. This one's easy though. Finish the line. I'm blank, y'all.
Liam.
Yes, Liam.
Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins. Yes. That movie is so good. Like, you guys really need to rewatch. Like, Kurt Russell.
I did rewatch it. I rewatched it.
We'll rewatch it again. Rewatch it and smile, and then maybe you'll like it more.
This movie.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Who does Stan Lee appear as in this film?
Grayson.
Yes.
Is this the one where he's like a comic book store owner?
No. That
Liam.
is
Liam.
Into the Spider-Verse. Yes, Liam.
He is
Oh.
Oh no, it is. Oh, I'm wrong. No.
Okay. Constance, do you want to guess or do you want multiple choice?
I want to think for just a moment.
Okay.
Oh, in Homecoming?
Yeah. You can think while I get water.
Oh God.
It's tough because he's in so many of these movies, so it's hard to
I
like
know.
remember.
And they're such small moments. It's like, oh, this could be any of
Yeah.
these.
Yeah, and it's not like Spider-Man's just in one in like standalone movies
Right.
either. He's in the Marvel
Right.
one.
Oh gosh.
All right, I'll give you multiple choice.
Oh no, I got it.
Yeah.
I don't know the wording it wants, but when they're doing the montage of him having a typical day and those window neighbors are talking to each other, he's all like, "Oh, Barbara, how you doing?" or
There we
whatever
go.
her name is.
Yeah. He
Nosy
was,
neighbor.
yeah, it was worded as a neighbor who was disturbed by a car alarm, but yes.
Oh yeah, because it's when that one, it's where he like traps that dude on the car handle in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thor: The Dark World. Or no, Thor Ragnarok. What is Valkyrie's scrapper number?
Wow. God damn. Multiple choice.
Multiple
Is
choice
it-
them.
Yes. Is it 3, 16, 142, or 232?
Liam.
Yes.
232.
No.
Constance.
Yes.
Oh God. It's the other one. What'd you say? That C 142 or
142. Yeah.
Yes.
Good job, Constance. It is 142. I don't even know what a scrapper number is. I stopped my rewatch right at Thor Ragnarok, so I have not seen it since like 2018.
Well, I just knew it was a
That's all right.
3-digit number because of how
Yeah, I
they,
knew it was.
she doesn't go by Valkyrie. She's trying to delete that from her life. So
Yeah.
but I knew it was I was like, it's not a single digit. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost done. We're at Black Panther. Talk about a mid-film, Grayson. Here it is. What do Killmonger and Claw steal from the Museum of Great
Liam.
Britain? Yes.
They steal the Wakandan dagger, but then they also steal the masks as well.
Yes. They say vibranium in a mask. So yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right, it's like a hammer. I'm calling it a dagger,
Yeah.
but I'm like doing a hammer action.
I don't. You know what I didn't like about Black Panther? They killed Claw. Andy Serkis is one of the best characters in the Marvel universe. I don't know why they killed him.
What? Why would you want Claw to stay in? Like, he's
Because
literally one
Andy,
of the most frustrating characters in any medium that Claw's been in.
because Andy Serkis.
But Andy Serkis is so good
amazing.
though.
And he can come back as a voice.
He's
Don't want him
directing.
as a voice.
He's directing Venom too, or he did
Yeah.
direct Venom too.
Which I'm super. I hope they don't move it. There's a rumor that it's that and Spider-Man are gonna move.
It's so soon. Like, it's
There's no
literally
way.
right around the corner,
Yeah.
and they already have dates. I don't know why they'd move him.
I know. There's no way.
Venom 2, I can see them moving, but Spider-Man, I can't see them moving.
Venom 2 is like what, 2-3 weeks away? A month?
Yeah, I don't know what day it comes out.
Yeah. October something. 15th.
All I know is that October's gonna be lit.
Okay. Yeah. Dune is gonna flop. Easy.
No, I think it's gonna be fun.
Actually, the truth is Yousef just hates Jack. This is week 2.
I don't like Denis Villeneuve. Anyway, Avengers Infinity War. What elective class did Thor take on Asgard?
Constance.
Yes.
Groot. Like, he knows
Yeah,
Groot's
it is Groot.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I didn't think you'd get that. Yeah.
As soon as you started talking, Constant, I was like, damn it, it's Groot. He took a language. What was it?
Yeah. He knows how to speak Groot. All right, point check. Liam and Constance, you guys have 7. Grayson, you have 5. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 questions left. So this is anybody's game. All right. Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I said it was a bad movie earlier. I kind of like Ant-Man and the Wasp. I think Ghost is a cool character.
It's just small.
It's small. It's a small film.
Yeah.
I'm whelmed by Ant-Man and the Wasp.
You were what?
I'm whelmed by it, and I don't know
You're
where to
whelmed,
put
yeah.
it in terms of the timeline because of that end credit scene. I hate
Oh,
the
yeah,
end
yeah.
credit scene because, like, when you rewatch it, it really affects the flow.
Yeah. Well, that's why I always rewatch everything just in release order. Like, I know people are like, "Oh, you gotta watch Star Wars," and like, no, just watch it the way it was
release
released.
order is way better.
Yes.
All right, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Scott hid an old Ant-Man suit underneath a trophy. What did the trophy say?
Grayson,
Yes?
number 1 dad.
No.
Damn.
No.
No, it's not. Multiple choice, please.
Okay. So, is it World's Greatest Dad?
Oh, Grayson.
Yes.
It's world's greatest dad.
No, it's not.
It's something to do with his
so
dad.
Is it World's Greatest Superhero, World's Greatest Aunt, or World's Greatest Grandma?
World's greatest grandma. Oh, Liam.
Yes.
World's greatest
yes.
grandma.
It's World's Greatest Grandma. Yeah.
Damn.
I knew it was a joke. I was like, no, it's something like,
It is, yeah.
I forgot it
Miss
was a joke.
America or something. I'm like, it's a joke thing. It's not
Yeah.
the expected thing.
Yeah.
All right. Captain Marvel. What is Carol's nickname for Monica?
Multiple choice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Sergeant Danger, Commander Monica, Lieutenant Trouble, or General Mo?
Great.
Liam.
Constance.
All of you spoke at the same time, but Grayson's box was yellow. So Grayson.
A. Sergeant or whatever
No.
it was.
Constance.
Is it?
Yes,
Lieutenant
Constance.
Trouble.
It's Lieutenant Trouble. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, right. Monica's a little girl in that one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. There's 2 more questions left. We'll make both of them worth 3 points. So, Avengers Endgame. What is Natasha's final line before she sacrifices herself on Vormir? The last thing she ever
Constance.
said. Yes.
It's okay.
Yes. She said it's
Yes.
okay. Yeah. One of the options, so the options here that they gave me were let me go, it's okay, tell everyone and then Clint. And when I read Clint, I thought it said cunt.
Damn.
But yes, it's okay. So you're up to 11 points. Wow. To make it interesting, this last one's worth 50,000.
Whoa!
All right.
Damn, so if I get it right, y'all are
Then-
goners.
I don't think that's fair on poor Constance. Constance has done well.
Constance,
okay.
we can yes. Constance
Everyone
is the
just
winner.
needs to know
in our
that,
heart.
and it's all.
All right. Spider-Man Far From Home. What necklace does Peter buy for MJ?
Grayson.
Liam.
It's the black flower thing because it's like the black
I know.
dahlia.
I know the actual name. I know.
But I don't know the actual name.
I need the
Grayson.
I
actual
do.
name.
I do.
Oh no.
Grayson went next. Grayson
Okay,
went.
yeah, Grayson.
Yeah.
It is the Black Dahlia.
It's the black dahlia.
I said black dahlia.
Oh, did you?
He did.
I said it's the
Oh.
little black flower like the black dahlia.
Oh, but
Oh,
you
then
said
it's
like
yours.
the black dahlia. Okay, fine.
That's still saying the
Liam.
black dahlia.
I like stealing points
Alright.
away from Liam Grayson. So Liam loses, Constance wins. Yeah.
And we're just
okay.
like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter.
Exactly. It means nothing. You know what does matter though? Shang-Chi. See
Facts.
it in theaters. It is only in theaters. Look, you get this sick poster if you go on IMAX. Look at
What?
that. Wow. Yeah.
Ooh.
Send me if you go
Bet-
back in
Bet
IMAX.
D-Box isn't
Yousef,
looking
send
that
me
good
one.
now, bitch.
Yeah.
I
I
want
got
a Shang-Chi poster so bad.
I will. Yeah, that's like one of the only nice posters they have for the movie.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you for listening. Thank you, Grayson, for joining us. I
Yes,
hope you
sir.
had fun. All right, let's wrap this up. So follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and TikTok. We have a TikTok as well. We're quite funny on there. I like to think
We'd be
so.
even funnier if Yousef would do the TikToks that he sent.
Well, maybe don't send me TikToks at 3 in the fucking morning and I'll do them. Anyway, so yes, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok and Facebook. We also do trailer reactions and fun like live things and reviews on our YouTube. So go subscribe there. We have our merch as well. We have Liam merch, Constance merch, my merch, council merch, and it's all available in the link in the description. Sorry, I'm reading the script and it says something about the blue ribbons, but that's not right because that was a while ago. Go watch Shang-Chi. Go listen to our podcast. We have new episodes every Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Grayson, do you want to plug anything?
GRYSNVCN on Apple Music and Spotify, and I'm also the host of a TikTok account called Minute Nerd News.
Yes.
That has been sleeping for a little while, but I just recently started posting on it again. I just posted like a really cool Batman edit that is getting no attention, and it's really frustrating. So go look at that.
Yes, go look. It is a really good one. I'll link all those in the description as well. Remind me because I'll forget.
You will.
But yeah, I will 100%. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. Oh,
Goodbye.
if you want to watch, hold on. Wait. If you want to watch a video version of this, because we do those again, Saturday on our YouTube video, on our YouTube page, this will be uncut, unedited on our YouTube. So go over there, subscribe, see our beautiful faces. All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Mm.